I want to talk about a transfer rumor now. I don't think is too much of a rumor, which is Richard Carapaz rumored to be going back to Movistar in 2023. His contract is up with Ineos this year. He's the airman here at the Giro d'Italia. Carapaz left Movistar under a cloud because they thought he would re-up with them, and then who's his agent, Giuseppe Quadro, pulled a fast one, at least that's what Yunzue said, and went to Ineos, got a better offer, and then he was gone, and they were blindsided by it. So the relationship ended, at least temporarily, where no Quadro riders were then being signed by Movistar. Now, Quadro holds the keys to many of the top South Americans and Spanish riders, like Fraile. And so he was feeding them to Ineos. Bernal, Luis Leon Sanchez, he went to Bahrain. Quintana went to Arkea. Kwiatkowski, Ineos, the Anao brothers. He mainly goes Ineos, Bahrain, and Astana. And then the Movistar tap was changed. What changed, though, and I don't know this for sure, is Gorka Izagirre. He went to Movistar, and Ivan Sosa. And I think, Aaron, is he rep him as well?
Yep.
Okay, well, there's the writing on the wall. And I think, and you never know for sure, it's very common in American sports, the benefits of signing up with these agents. If you're Sosa, if you have two absolutely horrific years at Ineos, which he did compared to his expectations and salary expectations, that super agent can go to Movistar and say, hey, you want Carapaz 2023? So you got to look after my boy Sosa, Gorka Izagirre, and Aaron Baru. And then when I saw those three were signed there, the relationship's mended, Carapaz going there. Why does it work, though? Should Ineos let him go? Do Movistar need Carapaz? Because I think they do.
I think Movistar doesn't need Carapaz. They've got Maslev, Valverde has to be replaced in the coming years. So they're all down to Mas, really, when it comes to GC in 2023, if this continues, unless you start counting Sosa, which he's not proving at all at the moment. So I see Mas as the only GC rider if Carapaz does not join this team. So they need to try and figure out what they can get for that team in the future. And with Valverde's money coming free and so forth, they can afford a rider like Carapaz, I think. I think Valverde's on a pretty large sum of money at Movistar, most likely after his performances. Carapaz could replace that Valverde role, not necessarily the same kind of races, but a GC rider extra. And I think when it comes to leadership, I personally think that Carapaz is better than Mas, but there's also the danger that Mas is going to be TDF leader. I think most likely, Giro leader will be Carapaz, Mas will lead Vuelta, and they will both be at the Tour de France if this transfer happens. Do you consider that the same?
Yeah, I think that's the way to split it, because Carapaz, he won't get Tour de France leadership this year. He's at Ineos. I mean, we've said it many times. The majority of the time, they've sent him to races with poor support, like his support at the Vuelta. I know it's COVID year, so it's difficult, but he wins that Vuelta ahead of Roglic with just competent support. He got ripped out of the Giro preparation because Geraint Thomas was overweight after lockdown and sent to the Tour de France team. So I don't even know if his opportunities and support will be worse at Movistar. Obviously, TT and equipment and general level professionalism is worse than Ineos, one would think. But Spanish-speaking team, I know there's a big Spanish contingent at Ineos as well. But yeah, that's the thing. I think Mas, they want TDF. I think he might split Giro Vuelta. I don't know, and share Vuelta with Mas. It is a recipe for disaster. Like if you were Carapaz's brother or trusted advisor, wouldn't you be like, mate, remember how this sometimes goes at Movistar? Like Mas is the golden protected child.
I think while Mas is the golden protected child, I think if he actually performs, they'll come to a point where he will also be considered leader. And I think if he goes to Movistar, he's going to be co-leader if they send him to the Tour de France. And I think he has that leverage at this point. And especially if he would win this Giro, that would rise that reputation even more and that image. Therefore, he would be able to get even more on the table in negotiations as well. But I also want to add next to that, there's the agent aspect of it. There's also the public perception aspect and the rivalry aspect we've had over the years that I think is a bit overblown. The Movistar chasing Carapaz meme was fun, but I think it's overrated. Let's get ourselves back to, for example, the Vuelta 2020, one of those last mountain stages where they end up having Roglic in the group of a Movistar rider. Those two Movistar riders end up chasing behind the attack of Carapaz in the final mountain stage, and therefore kind of saving Roglic's Grand Tour there and winning his Vuelta. But also, if you look at the standings that day, I'd argue it's relatively logically that that team decides to chase there, that Movistar decides to chase there, because Dan Martin is ahead of them in GC. It's like less than a minute, I think, at the end of the stage. So if Dan Martin collapses there on that climb, because he is dropped behind, and they continue at that pacing, then they have an option of moving up a spot in GC. I see that as a logical thing to do, that pacing. And a lot of people saw that as Movistar taking revenge on Carapaz, and I'm not in that group.
Yeah, and so in stage 7 of Tour de France last year, Carapaz attacked with Van Baarle's the satellite rider up the road. Movistar called back their satellite riders. Very conservative and negative racing, but it was logical again. They were defending Mas from a GC podium candidate, which was a shame for the excitement, but it was logical. I think it makes absolute sense for Movistar. They should, if I'm them, I bury the hatchet and go for this. The question is, can Ineos afford to let him go? They've got Bernal coming back. We have no idea what will happen with him. I don't think you can't predict it one way or the other. I don't think you can rely on him coming back to his previous level. Danny Martinez looks excellent. He's on the books. Well, he's also out of contract. If I had to choose between Martinez and Carapaz, given the age of Martinez, given his general ability, 4th at Liège, 5th at Flèche, 3rd at Paris-Nice, good all year round, won Basque Country, I'm going with Martinez, 26 years old, over Carapaz, even though, and he might be cheaper because Carapaz has won Grand Tours. He's won an Olympic gold. So, yeah, I'd go with Martinez out of the two. You got Rodriguez coming through and Talit and all the young guys. I think Ineos can afford to let him go, Benji.
Oh, I'm not as bullish on your boy Martinez there for GC winning capabilities. I've never seen and don't see Martinez as a rider that can win a Grand Tour at the moment, nor in the coming years. He might surprise me,
Mate,
but
if
I
he
don't
was at
see
this
that
Giro,
happening.
he would clean it up.
I think Carapaz is a better rider, straight up. And he's a better fighter mentality. He's a better descender. I think there's a weakness in that descending with Martinez that is currently like so easy to exploit for competition that I don't trust this man at all as a Grand Tour leader. And I think I would keep Carapaz at the age of 28, which is also not old, by the way, over Martinez at the age of 26, despite him being more expensive, like you said, because I would just get rid of Adam Yates instead.
I think he's gone. I think that there makes no sense for them to keep him unless they're convinced, unless he, I don't know, podiums the Tour or something. I don't know. I'm bullish on Martinez. I also value the fact that the guy could have won Liège. He's good all year round. I think that's important too, although the guy's getting this big money, it's really 4 Grand Tours as well. And they've got Rodriguez coming through, which is another Movistar rumor. Apparently they're interested in Rodriguez. I said that's like I'm interested in having a Ferrari or a Porsche 911. I can't have one right now, but I'd love one. I think Ineos have to keep him. And of course, like he's Spanish and 21 and he's the best. I mean, I'm sure Movistar are interested in Ayuso as well. I think Ineos have to keep him, Benji. Like they brought him through. They supported him at uni. He's now performing. He won a stage at Basque, 3rd GC at Valenciana. He looks legit. Like, and he's not up for renewal, by the way. He's out till 2023 at Ineos. I think Ineos have to pay for Rodriguez. I know they paid Pidcock, but I think they have to keep him.
I agree, and I'm going to continue on my Martinez conversation, where I think that Rodriguez is more likely to win a Grand Tour in his career than Martinez is. And I think Carlos Rodriguez, I'm really bullish on his future. I think he's one of those riders that has gradually grown into the current form that he is and still has potential to rise up a bit more. He's got a solid time trial combined that with really decent climbing. I think this rider is one that they 100% should try and keep. And he's one of those youngsters in the team that will certainly perform in the future. So I agree. And I don't see this transfer to Movistar happening. I don't see what Movistar can offer them.
Why would you do it if you were his agent?
I don't know if they put 5 million on the table, I'd be like, well, perhaps.
True. I'm trying to see. His agent is also a Quadro. So he's going to have a bidding war between Movistar and Ineos. This is why I got to get my agent's license, by the way, which is in the most annoying time slot. It's during the Dauphiné. It's in person. It's at I think like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I got to go. It's not even in Geneva. It's at the World Cycling Center. So that's going to be incredibly, like, there's one exam a year and they put it during the most prestigious 1 week race of the year. And you have to go to a place which has no airport. It's extremely annoying.
Most prestigious 1 week race of the year, Dauphiné. Get out of here.
What is?
Alwaza Belgium Tour, mate.
Yeah, maybe. Bingo Bongo Tour, whatever it's called. Yeah, so that's, anyway, agent stuff, rider signings, all interesting, a lot of rumors, but I think the Carapaz one, there might be some truth to it. That was reported originally by Giro Sconamilio, the Italian guy who often appears on the cycling podcast, and I just butchered his name, so I apologize for that, but he put it on Twitter originally. Thanks as always to Zwift for supporting the Lanterne Rouge Cycling podcast. As I've said, they make your online cycling training fun. They have for Benji and myself. If you want to check out Zwift, you can go to zwift.com for a free 7-day trial through the link down below, and maybe follow them on Instagram as well to be kept abreast of the news happening with Zwift, which there's some pretty big news coming this year with Zwift.